How does it make you feel looking at that clip, seeing that you actually have been proven correct by history, and yet you were mocked and ridiculed by the President of the United States on what many would say now is the most important issue facing America overseas?
Well, I don't look back to the debates, even though it was a good experience. I instead look at what's happening in the country and what we need to do to make sure that our interests are promoted around the world and that people see democracy and freedom. And frankly, what we've seen over the past 5 years has been a retreat of our interests globally. Fewer and fewer nations respect us and bow, if you will, to the demands of their people and to the interests of democracy. And there's no question but that Vladimir Putin and Russia in particular are our geopolitical adversary. Doesn't mean that they are our enemy,
right.
And I never called them our threat. The greatest threat in the world, of course, is a nuclear Iran. But I did say that they are a geopolitical foe, and frankly, you've seen Russia consistently over the past several years line up with the world's worst actors, whether it's with Assad or Kim Jong-un or around the world. In Venezuela, this is a nation which is intent on pushing back against the United States and the interests of freedom. And freedom depends upon a strong America.
And Governor,
we have two. Yeah.
Governor Romney, what is your concern if this continues indefinitely with Putin's behavior toward Ukraine and the oppression there? And what do you suggest happens right now that you think isn't happening?
Well, the key to leadership is identifying the time when you can take action that'll make a difference. And the key with Ukraine, for instance, was to identify at the time there was the revolution in the streets and people jumping up and down with demonstrating in various ways, to recognize that Russia, with their interest in Sebastopol, might take an action to grab Crimea. That was the time for the President of the United States to make sure that we and our friends around the world communicated to Russia the kinds of sanctions that would follow action on their part of a military nature. And the President didn't do that. He sat and watched. In Syria, for instance, we don't have good options right now because the President sat and watched at the very beginning of the most critical time in Syria. You have to take action when action has the potential to really change events. And the President has not done so. And leading from behind, sitting back and observing affairs in the world is not a way for America's foreign policy interests to be carried out.